for more on the humanitarian situation in Gaza, we're now joined by James Elder, who is spokesman for UNICEF, the United Nations Children's Fund. He is live from Deir al-Balah in central Gaza. Mr. Elder, thank you very much for being with us. You were last in Gaza 6 weeks ago, I understand. How would you compare the situation now and then in terms of the humanitarian crisis? How much more desperate is it for the people of Gaza?
Fally, it's dire. It should surprise no one that it is this much worse, because again, in the last 6 weeks, every single day we've had the bombardments, the drones, the relentless attacks, the denials of aid. So it shouldn't surprise anyone, but it should break our hearts and a blight on our humanity that it's been allowed to get to this point. We are now at a point where I'm outside a hospital again. This is a wartime hospital. As soon as I walked in, Fally, I found a little boy, Ali, who 5 days ago was asleep in the family home when it was struck, and the next thing he fell 3 floors and landed in rubble. I met his mother 2 stories above. She explained that 2 other siblings have been killed. This has gone on for the last 6 weeks, Fally. This has gone on for 250 days. Now, of course, it's sweltering heat. People say to me, oh, people must be used to that. Yes, they are used to it. Gazans are used to the heat in their family home, in their home with air conditioning, in their home with ceiling fans, not in tents crammed together in a breathless space with 40-degree heat on sand. This is what people are. They're being denied aid, they're being denied protection, they're being denied dignity. And whilst the last 3 days, Fally, have been sleepless because of the bombs and the drones, it's 250 days for the civilians here. So yes, everyone here, physically, psychologically, is somehow just holding on.
I'll ask you a bit more about the impact of the war on children in just a moment, but I just wanted to get to aid, because you mentioned aid there. How much of it has gone into Gaza in the last few days? I understand you were part of a convoy of aid trucks that were trying to get into the Gaza Strip. Can you describe to us the process of that, what it takes to get those aid trucks into Gaza, and how many have gone in these past few days?
Yeah, it's a very complicated process to get in because of the restrictions put on top of aid. But we do it. We know the paperwork. We know the hoops to jump through. But it is very difficult to get aid in. For example, in May, humanitarian agents got in half as many trucks of aid, Fally, as in April. Half as many when we have this critical nutrition situation. Why was that the case? That was the case because in May, of course, we had the Rafah offensive. The limited, quote-unquote, limited offensive in Rafah that led to the displacement of 1 million people. So less aid is coming in, but it's not just getting it in. It's when we get it in, it's making sure we can get it across the Gaza Strip without aid workers being killed. More aid workers have been killed in this war than any war since the advent of the United Nations. It's extraordinary. It is an incredibly difficult place to work, but Palestinians and foreigners are very brave on the front lines. Once you get it in, if we look, Fally, yes, to Wednesday a few days ago, it was a mission of UNICEF. We were taking a truck full of nutritional and medical supplies for 10,000 children. Nutritional and medical supplies for 10,000 children. We had all the approvals. We were going to Gaza City from Deir al-Balah and then from here. It's basically a 40-kilometre round trip. It took 13 hours, and we spent 8 of those around checkpoints, arguing around paperwork. Was it a truck? Was it a van? All sorts of he said, she said. The reality is this truck was then denied access. So those 10,000 children did not get that aid. Now, UNICEF will go back again, but it's not as easy as just returning the next day. Because of how dangerous this is a place to operate, remembering Israel as the occupying power has the legal responsibility to facilitate that aid, we must have armoured vehicles with convoys, right? UNICEF also does sanitation, we do water, we do protection, we need to be everywhere. So that was denied. But Fally, there is an even more bitter, dark aspect to that mission. As we stood on the coastal line there for hours and hours and hours, I was watching fishermen, I was watching men they were probably lawyers and engineers in a past life, with a single fishing net each, just trying to catch a few fish for their families. Suddenly tanks came from the very large Israeli checkpoint. A tank came. Next thing, all the fishermen fled. As 2 fishermen fled, they were shot. They were shot on the beach. I was with other UN agencies, doctors and paramedics. They immediately rang authorities to get us permission to access these people in case there was a sign of life, to immediately get them medical care. That was denied. That help was denied. Finally, half an hour later, as those men lay there, those men who were no doubt someone's brother, father, son, as they lay there, the other fishermen, their family, their friends, took body bags that we had and went down the beach and brought them up. I saw them. One man had been shot in the back. Another man who still had a fishing net round his foot was shot in the neck. I know that because I saw that. Only because we bore witness to that. These are not unique events on the Gaza Strip.
How incredibly sad. James, you talked about the children and meeting children who were injured in recent Israeli attacks in Deir al-Balah, where you are right now. There is the impact of the war, of course, of children being killed, they're being maimed, but there's also malnutrition, which is spreading among children fast and reaching devastating and unprecedented levels across Gaza because, as you mentioned, of a lack of humanitarian aid and the restrictions on aid going into Gaza. What impact is this having on the children now, and what impact is it going to have on them in the future?
Oh, the impact on children, whether it's night after night of bombardments or the idea that a teenage girl or a grandmother queues all day, maybe to get a shower, the idea that disease is taking root, and yes, we had stabilization centres, Sally. They are critical places for those children with some of the most lethal forms of malnutrition. They closed during the Rafah offensive. So it's thousands of children who were getting the treatment they needed, they're not getting the treatment they needed. All of this, the bombardments last night, I was in Rafah last night, it was very intense. From bombardments to Apache helicopters, 24/7. No, there's no way anyone slept. I don't sleep, I'm in a building. How do you sleep in a tent amid that? It all comes back to a ceasefire, and the more and more we see, the more it seems that those people who have the decision-making power on a ceasefire seem so utterly disconnected to the suffering of everyday children here on the Gaza Strip.
James Elder, thank you so much for talking to us. Thank you for joining us from Gaza. James Elder is a spokesman for UNICEF, live there from Deir al-Balah in central Gaza.
Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Rekhat Badash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching His word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning, and unto the Bayat Adawadah, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad, I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. So, with this reporter right here, the spokesman, James Elder, he said that Palestinians in Gaza right now are being denied aid, protection, and dignity. So the powers that be are pretty much telling these people to fuck off. Fend for yourself. Okay? And we all know who runs the world right now, the wicked, Esau Edom, and Netanyahu. You have Palestinians here in America and people who support Palestine. They're already calling Netanyahu and those that are with him war criminals. All right? The senseless slaughter. Men, women, and children. Said 15,000 children have been slaughtered in Gaza. 15,000. Esau Edom don't care. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 29. Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. And it says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And right now, these people are mourning. Because, again, they're being denied aid, medical care. You know? Protection, security, and dignity. They're being robbed basically what Esau Edom does. Rape, rob, murder. That is Esau Edom's MO when it comes to war. Okay? And you can see right here, the righteous are not in authority, because if this was under a righteous rule, a righteous government, this wouldn't be happening right now. This very tells you that the wicked are in authority. Okay? Now let's get the book of and right now there is a famine that's going on in Gaza. Men, women, and children are starving. So what does that tell you? You know, people that are desperate, people that are losing everything. You know, desperate times call for desperate measures. And these people are getting sick and tired. Second Esdras, it's going to be chapter 2nd Esdras chapter 16, verse 18. It says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. Okay, the beginning of sorrows. People losing loved ones, not being able to get the help that they need, having to do what they got to do to survive. Famine, starvation, not being able to eat or drink. Great death, a lot of bodies. The beginning of wars, okay? People rising up against other nations, rising up against their leaders. Soon, you know, people are gonna, once the critical point hits, these people are going to just say, fuck it. Take matters into their own hands. Well, shoot, they're already starting to say, fuck it. They're tired. So, this is only the beginning. Just imagine what happens when stuff like this is worldwide. Right now, America. Just you wait. This right now, what we're going through is really nothing. All right, this is going to be the book of 2nd Thessalonians. Let's see. Second Thessalonians, chapter 2. Second Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for the day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who is none other than Esau Edom. Verse 4. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the power, or that is worshipped, so that he as the power sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. Okay. Because right now, since Esau Edom as the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven from above, and by the sword shalt thou live. Okay? Those JOOs in the land right now, they're in power. And this is what they do with that power. They destroy. It's going to be Isaiah chapter 54. Isaiah 54, verse. Isaiah 54, verse 16. And he says, Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. I have created the waster to destroy. And that is Esau Edom. And what is Esau Edom? What is his role in the Most High story? To be the wicked and to destroy. Okay? Let's see here. Everywhere Esau Edom goes, there is no peace. This is Micah. Micah chapter 2. Micah chapter 2, verse 1. It says, Woe unto them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. 2. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. I mean, we already know that these wars are bankers' wars. This is how they make their money. By colonizing, conquering, killing, stealing, raping, robbing, murdering, oppressing. Other people's misery is their joy, their celebration. This is Esau Edom. And this is why the Lord's going to do this. Verse 3, Therefore, thus saith the Lord, Behold, against this family do I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go haughtily, for this time is evil. Verse 4, In that day shall one take up a parable against you, and lament with a doleful lamentation, say, We be utterly spoiled. He hath changed the portion of my people. How hath he removed it from me? Turning away, he hath divided our fields. Okay? So Yahweh Shemel Shai, because of Esau Edom and his violent ways, Yahweh Shemel Shai is going to rise up, and he's going to be the one to make Esau Edom fall by his own devices. I'm going to close out with this. This is going to be Revelation chapter Revelation chapter 11, verse 18. And it says, And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear the name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. Okay? So the nations are angry. They're tired of the bullshit. especially with America. Okay? The petrodollar is practically done. Okay? All these other nations, they're watching what's going on. They're seeing these other nations. They're leaving America's currency for the Chinese yuan, the Russian. I think the Russian is rubles. I don't know, but you know, Putin is slowly but surely, you know, gathering allies, and you know, eventually it's America is in trouble. So is NATO, because NATO right now is divided. They can't be on one accord. And America being the big bad bully on the block, that's about to come to an end, because these people are tired of being oppressed. They're tired of getting fucked over. They're tired of these unrighteous decrees, unrighteous dealings, and tired of being treated unfairly. Okay? Well, I hope that this was an edifying lesson unto the body and to the sincere listeners. You know, like I said, you know, it's only a matter of time before this, what's going on here in Gaza, comes to America. It's only a matter of time. Okay? There's going to come a point in time where you go into the stores, them shelves are going to be empty. Next best thing is your neighbors. And we all know what happens from there. And when the hospitals can no longer provide assistance or aid, you know, law enforcement is been completely defunded, or law enforcement just says, fuck it, this ain't worth it no more. And they decide to just fend for themselves, fend for their families. They're not going to be out there in the streets protecting and serving the community anymore. Okay? It's going to get to a point where people are going to just say, fuck it. And that time is coming fast, so you better prepare yourselves. And with that, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Rachak, Badash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of the great millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. And unto the Ba'ath Dabadah, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad. I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. Repent, Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians. Return unto your true power. And as for you, Esau, Edom, your time's up. Your time of being ruler over the earth, causing the people to mourn, causing people to suffer, and taking away and never giving anything in return. Okay, it's time to step aside and let the true rulers take over. Shalom.